What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Days of Darkness, and welcome to my review of The Lost Boys. This one came out in 1987. It's starring Jason Patric, Kiefer Sutherland, and Corey Haim, and was directed by Joel Schumacher. Now, what can I say about easily one of my favorite fucking 80s films ever? Dude, I'm gonna praise this movie a lot, obviously. Don't really have a lot of bad things to say about it. And I know I might come off as a little biased when I say this. I got introduced to the Lost Boys at like a perfect age. I was around 11 or 12. 11 through like 14 is a fucking blur to me, so it was somewhere in there. All I know is that it was a very impressionable age, obviously, for most young men and women. It is. And, dude, I wanted to party with these fucking vampires so bad. Like, I thought they were the coolest fucking guys. And then, they eat people and shit. But hey, everyone has their flaws. But anyways, one thing I love about the Lost Boys, and it's something I've talked about before on the channel, is that I love the fact that it blends the genres of horror and comedy so fucking well, dude. It doesn't really dip its toe too deep into either, and it lets the subject matter and the story speak for itself. But anytime it does, the horror elements are there, or the comedic elements are there, it fucking packs a punch, dude. And I'm not gonna act like this is a horror comedy. I wouldn't call it that. But when the jokes are there, they fucking land. This is definitely more of a horror movie. But, horror movies have a habit sometimes of dipping in the comedy, and it just doesn't fucking work. And I'm happy to say that's not the case here, man. But yeah, dude, it's just, to me, there's just such a unique feeling to this movie, and it's something that's hard to describe. It's just, if you have like an 11 or 12-year-old niece or nephew, son or daughter, little brother or sister, whatever, and you're allowed to show them this type of shit, because this movie does get kind of gory in certain parts. And, just the subject matter of vampires can be kind of scary. But, hey, if they can handle it like I could as a kid, dude, show them this shit, man. This movie fucking rules, and it's the perfect age to watch it, dude. Like, this movie left a fucking impression on me. It's still, like, why I feel like it's acceptable to wear goofy fucking bandanas on my head and dress the way I do. It's, it's obviously other influences as well, like the punk rock scene and all that shit. But the Lost Boys did a fucking lot. What can I say, man? And fun fact, this is one of Mama Darkness's favorite movies, and she is the one who showed me this. And for anyone who hasn't heard already, my mother is the reason why I am so into horror. It's her fault, so there we go. But moving on, the subject of vampires, I feel it's so hard for me personally to say what the best, vampire movie is, because the vampires subgenre is so fucking unique. You have shit like this, like the Lost Boys. You have old school Nosferatu and fucking, I don't know why I did such a heavy accent when I said that. But you have Nosferatu and the original Dracula and fucking just so many and it all feels so different. If anyone wants to know my stance on Twilight, fuck Twilight. But anyways, I might get some heat for that one. I don't know. To me, The Lost Boys is one of the best movies. It's one of the best cases of doing vampires right. I think this movie does justice to the monsters known as vampires. These are not, don't get me wrong, and that's the thing about vampires, is that they're supposed to be kind of seductive and kind of alluring, And dude, this movie fucking nails that, man. The guys in this fucking movie, these vampires, they're good looking fucking dudes, man. You know, I have no problem admitting when I find another man to be, handsome or whatever you want to call it. And, this is the internet. So comment away, fuckheads. But I have no shame in admitting that. These are some handsome ass motherfucking vampires, boy. But yeah, man, and it nails that aspect of them so well. So then when they are when they become these fucking hideous monsters, it's all the more shocking, and they're ripping, and it's flashed like that. And this might be kind of spoilery, but it's a fucking movie about vampires. What do you want from me? So when they start ripping people apart, like it's like what the fuck? Because they're such alluring guys. Whether you're attracted to them or you're attracted to the fact that they're so rebellious and cool, like our protagonist is here. No matter what, they are very alluring gentlemen, and that is something about vampires that I feel is fucking vital to nail. And I love that the Lost Boys did that 10 fucking fold. Beyond that, man, just the story here, which we will obviously get into with this spoiler section. It's just fucking awesome, man. I mean, this movie, beat for beat, like, it doesn't matter how many times I watch this. It's fucking awesome, dude. It's fucking great. I'm fucking rambling like a motherfucker. We're just gonna go ahead and get right into the spoiler section. So without further ado, let's go ahead and spoil the shit out of this motherfucker. Stay tuned. All right, spoiler time. Your ass has been warned. Now, let's just hop right into it, baby. So we are introduced immediately to Michael, Sam, who are brothers, and their mother, Lucy. She has just gotten divorced from their dad, who we never meet in the movie. But, yes, my love of coffee does kind of cut me off sometimes. Anyways, so recently divorced mom and her two kids, one of them pretty much a young adult. I think they try to allude to the fact that he's a teenager because she says, oh, when school starts back up, you're not going to have this nonsense going on. And I hope they weren't trying to talk about high school, because this man is not a teenager. He is college age easily, as well as all the fucking vampires in this movie are. But yeah, man, so they move, and what a fucking beautiful area, man. What an awesome setting. Santa Cruz, just a fucking awesome environment for a movie, especially like this, which they're really trying to target that, or they were really trying to target that teen demographic, and just having all of this sick ass party shit off the fucking rip. Like, I think, it's like the first night they're there, and Michael's already, like, at this just killer fucking concert. Yeah, this fucking ripped up oiled dude playing a fucking saxophone. Just fucking 80s, man. It's gold. Before that, we are introduced to the grandpa, who is a pretty fun presence in the movie. He's there for a lot of gags, and then at the very end, you find something out very, it's a pretty weird little twist, but it's fun. But anyways, so I love that they hint at it multiple times. He's a vampire hunter. It's pretty clear. I love that they hint at it multiple times, with him, like, hammering in stakes, like, right where he, like, drives the car into the head vampire later on, and at the end of the movie. Again, big fucking spoilers. We're in the spoiler section. What do you want from me? Anyways, a fun character, but we mainly focus on Michael and Sam throughout this movie. And Michael's whole arc in this is him and Sam go down to the docks in Santa Cruz, and we go. He goes down to the docks in Santa Cruz, and he runs into this very, very foxy young lady named Star. And like a fucking creep, he just starts kind of following her around until, he runs into David, who is kind of the leader of this like little vampire gang. Of course, initially you don't discover that they're vampires, but come on. But he runs into David, and it's pretty clear, at least at first, that Star and David have a little thing going on. So eventually, he comes on to her again, and David's like, "Hey man, you want to just fucking come with us?" And challenges him to a little bit of a race. Sorry. I use the ski thing too much to where people don't even know what I'm fucking saying. But he challenges him to a little bit of a race, and they, basically speed away from Santa Cruz and go through this very, very fucking trippy, very foggy area, and they're basically initiating him to become a vampire. And they eventually go to there's a cool little scene where he stops because he almost drives straight off of this cliff. David and his boys are laughing at him, and all of a sudden he gets up. Michael, the balls on this fucking guy, dude, gets up, just punches David right in the fucking face. Granted, he doesn't know he's a vampire. David no-sells it, obviously. And he's pretty cool with it, man. He doesn't really retaliate or anything like that. He's just, it's almost like he understands. Like, yeah, you almost died. I get why you're a little pissed. But yeah, man. So then they go down to the lair, the little vampire lair thing they have going on, which I thought was a very, very cool set, man. It's probably my favorite set piece in the whole movie. That, and I think the grandpa's house is really cool. But yeah, man, that whole setup they got down there is really cool, and they make him think he's eating worms and maggots and all this shit, and eventually they fucking get him to drink blood, and he becomes a vampire. And obviously, he's a half vampire, he's not fully there, and he's like having all these problems, and he becomes a vampire, obviously, but he's still able to fight the craving. And this obviously leads to some tension between him and his brother Sam, where, while all this shit is going on with Michael, Sam, who's the younger brother, goes to a comic shop because he's not, running around chasing tail like horny old Michael. So he goes into a comic shop, good taste there, Sam, and runs into the Frog Brothers, one of which played by the incredible and controversial Corey Feldman. Always cool to see him. And yeah, dude, so the Frog, I will say, as someone who frequents Friday the 13th Part 4, it's always very jarring to hear this super deep voice on Corey Feldman. It's like, I think he kind of hams it up a little bit, but still, it is very weird to just hear. And he's still a pretty young kid during all of this, during, the Lost Boys, so it's very jarring to see, this very familiar face with this completely different voice. Like, he's so down low. He's like, you gotta kill your brother. And obviously that's a fucking horrible impression, but you get what I'm saying. So he, Sam kind of partners up with the Frog Brothers, who let him know that there are vampires afoot, and Michael's been acting funky. So they try to figure out and get to the bottom of this vampire epidemic that's going on. At first, Sam doesn't believe them, then it's pretty obvious once he discovers his brother is, in fact, a vampire. Which that whole sequence is great. The dog fucking biting Michael on the hand, and then he's able to, see through Michael in the mirror. He's like, holy shit, you're a fucking vampire. But yeah, man, really cool stuff there. And the Frog Brothers are fucking hilarious in this movie. They're so good. They are so, so good. Some of the best stuff. And yeah, man, I love the whole scene where they're suspicious of Max being the head vampire, and I love the scene alone, but then I love that it everything that they attempt to out Max on is, it's proven later on that stuff doesn't actually work. Garlic, for instance, the Frog Brothers are led to believe through comic books that that vampires are allergic to garlic, and that's been a pretty common thread throughout vampire lore. So you would just assume so, right? And so they try it on Max, and it doesn't work because one of the vampires later on reveals garlic does not fucking work on us. So tough shit. They try to dump water on them, but they don't. They just have regular fucking water. It takes holy water. So I love that attention to detail, man. It's like they totally, if you're watching this for the first time, they do a great job of steering you clear of thinking that it's Max who's the head vampire. It all gets very, low key revealed later on that holy shit he might be, but if you're the first time watching this, you're not gonna fucking know that. So yeah, cool stuff there. Anyways. So again, eventually Max and his brother, Michael and Sam eventually come together and team up, and they try to save Star, who is also a vampire. It's revealed. They try to save Star and this little kid. One thing I'll mention about the little kid, I didn't see the point in having the kid there. I thought having Star there as his love interest for Michael and being the damsel in distress and yada yada yada. Thought that was enough. I didn't really see the point of having the kid there. It was fun to see him as a vampire though, and like Star being like, "You can't fucking hurt him, don't do it." And then it's a great joke of him just like her just holding them off from killing this little kid. The little kid's like trying to fucking get at him and shit. That was funny. But yeah, I didn't really see the kid's fine in it. Like, I'm not like dogging on him or anything like that, but yeah, it is what it is. But anyways, so they eventually team up and they go to the lair and they save the kid, they save Star, they get him out of there, and the Frog Brothers go and they fucking kill a vampire. Like, they legit, like, he takes the stake, and Corey Feldman's like, "Good night, bloodsucker," I think he says, and he fucking just stabs him right through the heart. They kill the shit out of this vampire, dude. Like, it sucks. Like, he is woken up with a stake through his heart, which does work on them. And, they fall, and, Kiefer Sutherland, David, he's like, "You're dead meat." Shout out to the Dead Meat channel, as if they need a fucking shout out from me. But anyways, I fucking love that line. "You're dead meat." They're fucking running out, and then we get the chase, man. They eventually make their way back to Grandpa's house. I know I'm leaping over fucking moments in this movie. Just watch the movie, man. If you're upset about it, why? Just go watch it, man. And then come on here and listen to me talk a bunch of shit about it. Not literally in this case, because I fucking love this movie. But yeah, they make their way back to Grandpa's house. Then we get the final showdown. They gear up. They have holy water in their super soakers. They make this weird concoction of like garlic and holy water, and then it's then revealed that it doesn't work. And then we get some fucking awesome vampire kills, which we'll get to later. And it all ends with Michael, who is now in like full vampire mode, and David, who is in full vampire mode. I mean, they all are by this point. They've flown to the house, which that's another thing. I know we're leaping around, but I love in the beginning just those initial kills and just the camera just bearing down, and these fuckers are strong too. Like, they rip the fucking roof off of a car. Like, that's insane and awesome. But yeah, man. So they have their little fight at the end there, and it ends with, it's kind of a weird fight. Like, they're flying and they're just like doing this, grappling with one another. I'm not gonna be picky about it, but I could have used a little more savagery, a little more blows to the head. I mean, they're vampires, man. They're durable. Give me some good bloody action, Lost Boys. It's okay though. I still love you. Um, Ends with David getting antlers just stuck through his chest. Now, I had a question about that. Do they just have to get stabbed in the heart? Like, it doesn't have to be a wood stake? Because I'm pretty sure those are deer antlers, and those aren't made of wood. So, you know, you could call it nitpicking, but I think the wood in the stake is a pretty common thread throughout, you know, vampire lore. So it's like, what's going on there, man? But nonetheless, it does kill young Master David. And our protagonists are under the impression that he's the head vampire. So then when he dies and Michael is still like full vampire mode, which, by the way, I love that when Michael is in full vampire mode, he does not want Sam or his mom to see him like that. You know, some people may look at that as a throwaway thing, but I thought it was done so well. Like, he's hiding behind the stars. Like, don't let them see me like this. It's a quick whatever like moment, but to me I thought it was so cool. But anyways, so then when Michael dies and he's still a vampire, they're like, what the fuck? So, you know, we get the grand reveal. We've talked about it already. Max being the head vampire. I love that moment where like he just casually is like, oh, my boys were misbehaving or whatever he says. And, you know, and I love when he grabs Lucy's hand. No, he doesn't grab her hand. At some point, he's like, he just turns full fucking vampire like that. And he's like, I still want you, Lucy. He fucking sticks that big ass tongue out. I was like, hell yeah, dude. It's my thing. I fucking love it. Or maybe I stole that from Max. I stole it from Gene Simmons. But anyways. But yeah, man. So we get Max, this fucking full-on vampire. Then fucking Grandpa barrels his fucking way through his house. He just, fuck it, and barrels through those stakes that he was hammering in later. I guess you would assume that they were meant to be a fence, but no. It was just some big-ass elaborate thing that he was setting up, and one of those fucking huge stakes just goes right through him, dude. It was like, oh my god. Awesome, dude. So fucking cool. And then we get that thing is like, you know, the grandpa, that little bit of dialogue. Michael's totally healthy now. He's fine. Star doesn't have the craving anymore. The kid's all well and good. Because the kid was a vampire too. I mentioned that already. Anyways. So, you know, they're all well and good. Happy Dory. And I will admit, this is kind of a weird thing to end on. Just boom, end. But it's still fun. The grandpa is just like, one thing I can't stand about Santa Cruz is all the goddamn vampires. End. And I was like, okay, cool. Guys, I fucking love The Lost Boys, man. Again, I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. We're not going to go over the entire story beat for beat. Go watch the movie, man. Go support the people who made this film possible. I'm I'm more than happy to fucking sit here and talk about them with you afterwards. But yeah, dude. Just such a fucking fun movie, man. This movie is so cool. I really can't be more positive about it, to be honest. You know, there are some things here and there that I would have maybe changed or tweaked, but, you know, fuck do I know. But yeah, guys, that'll do it for The Lost Boys. That'll do it for the review portion of the video, but you know what we gotta do, baby? We gotta get into the blood, the guts, and the gory bits. We gotta get into my kill of the film. Stick around. The Lost Boys is a very, 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 very fun, fucking awesome vampire movie. And there are a couple of things that qualify it as such, which a lot of which we discussed right now, just now in the review. But to me, man, a big part of it is some of the fucking kills we get here, dude. it's not a big splatter fest until the very end. These fucking vampires get dispatched in some pretty brutal ways, and I fucking love it. Wanted to show some love again to those initial kills where you weren't supposed to really know who the vampires were, even though it's kind of obvious that it's those fucking kids. Excuse me. But yeah, man. So we get some awesome fucking just panning in from above and just snatching people up. Good shit. Getting to see that car roof get ripped apart and they just get snatched out of their car. That's always fun. We get some really cool kills of this group of teenagers that are hanging out by this campfire, and then they bring out Michael basically to initiate him fully into becoming a vampire by having him feed. And Michael resists. He doesn't want to do it. But these other guys have at it, man. They're fucking ripping these dudes' heads open and shit. You don't see a whole lot of it. It's very quick glimpses of the brutality. But it's fucking there, man. It's some gnarly shit. I really enjoyed it. I like that they didn't take that. I'm okay sometimes when they have it to where it's just quick cuts and you get very brief visuals, but it's still enough to where your mind plays with you and you're like, what the fuck are they doing to these guys? Really, really cool stuff there. And that's actually when we get a glimpse of Michael in vampire mode for the first time. But then, man, this final battle when these vampires get killed. The kill in the cave, in like the little vampire cave was cool too. That one vampire getting the stake right through the fucking heart and falling down. That was good shit. To me though, some of the standouts before KOF. I thought Max's death was really cool. Just that big ass stake going through him was awesome. Getting to see David get those antlers through the back and out through the chest was awesome. Some of these like side vampires, I'd say the side vampires have the best death though, or those sidekick vampires, whatever you want to call them. They have like the best deaths of the whole movie to me. Love the holy water bath where that vampire just gets dunked, just fucking melts, dude. It's slow as shit. Really brutal stuff. But to me, man, easily kill of the film is gonna have to go to the vampire who got the fucking arrow through the chest, which again, I guess that again plays into the whole, it doesn't have to be a wooden stake, it just has to go through the heart thing. Fine. But then gets stuck in this radio and is getting shocked all to death and just fucking explodes in this fucking gore-tastic, just awesome shit, man. I fucking loved it, dude. Just, hey, man, it's bloody, gory goodness. That's what I'm here for. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for The Lost Boys. Absolutely adore this one, man. Next time on Days of Darkness, we're going to get into Wes Craven's new Nightmare. We're almost done with the Nightmare franchise. And yeah, dude, I'm actually optimistic for this one. I've heard some good things. I've heard some bad things. And, you know, whenever that happens, I'm very curious to see what I think. Because it's a very polarizing movie. And a lot of the times, those end up being my favorites. Or not, sometimes. So, we'll have to see. I have never seen it. I have never, ever seen Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I think the idea of it was just a little too out there for me as a kid. I just wanted to stick to my first 4 nightmares and have that be that. And so far, my childhood decision has been validated, because past 4, they've fucking sucked. So, we're going to have to see what Wes Craven's New Nightmare has in store for me. I'm actually kind of excited to get into it. Without further ado, take care of each other and keep watching horror. You guys have a good rest of your day. All right. Peace.